the original business was called Chris Thrift Shop,
Okay.
and so I started off with clothes. Like I would go to like Goodwills and shit and buy, like there's a popular Instagram. I think it was like thrift flippers or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen them a million times. Yeah.
You've seen them? Okay.
They flip thrift clothes, right?
I know those guys.
Okay.
Like I literally met those guys, and I was talking with them, and they're like crazy about it. They make a lot of money, but you got to be like quick. You got to be there like every day, and you need to know like they would go to like Plato's Closet a lot of times, and their inventory they would hold it for like a long time. And I was like, number one, I don't have a whole lot of space. Mm-hmm. I'm living at home. My parents don't really want me like just having all this shit around. Yeah. I got to get rid of shit quickly. And also the margins are not that great. So like you can sell shit, but you need to have a lot of shit just kind of on standby.
Quantity.
Yeah.
A lot of quantity.
So like I would make like maybe like $5 on like a pair of pants, and I'm like, is this worth my time to like I'll maybe spend 3 hours in there and I'll get all this shit. I'll list it all, but like just the listing process, the mailing it out to the customer process. So it's like I need to have something that is I can get shit out quickly. Mm-hmm. I can, I'm not gonna hold on to it quickly. I know like what I'm looking at, like brands. I don't know brands. Like you'll look at something and it'll be like, oh, this is a good brand, but people don't want that shirt. Or
right.
So like I was like, okay, what is selling the fastest on eBay? Like, and it's electronics, 100%. And specifically, it's phones, iPhones. So they're the top of the top. They sell very quickly. So like I said, I'll list the phone on there, and if it's not gone in an hour, I'm like, oh, is there something wrong with my post?
Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Better Than Yesterday show. My name is Eric Riley, and I'm going to be your host as always. And today, we have a very special guest, one of my friends since grade school. His name's Chris Opdyke. So I've known him since grade school. We graduated 8th grade with only 16 other kids in the entire class. Fucking tiny school out of Ballard, Pennsylvania. It doesn't exist anymore, actually. We won't get into that, but now he works as a retirement plan specialist at Infosys, serving Vanguard, and he also has a few side hustles on the side, so we'll get into that as well. He owns a company called Sick Whips Detailing and another one called Pure Electronics, and he's also a huge fitness junkie. Keep me honest here, is it AAAI certified?
AAAI, yeah.
AAAI certified physical trainer, and also trades stocks and is a big cryptocurrency advocate, just like myself. So we're going to get into all those topics. So yeah, Chris, how you doing today?
Dude, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on, dude. I'm super excited to talk with you.
Of course, dude. I'm super excited to talk to you too. So before we get into the show, I just want to ask, as always, if you enjoy the show, if it provides you any value, makes you think a certain way, please make sure to share it with your friends or on your social media platforms, because that is the only way we grow. And a quick disclaimer, we are going to be talking about a lot of financial topics in this episode. I just want to make it very clear, we're not telling you to buy anything. Do your own research first. We are not financial advisors or financial whatever the fuck. We're not telling you to buy anything. Do your own research first. We're just telling you our opinions on the things that we own and the things that we invest in. So with that being said, let's get right into the show. So I think we're going to start with fitness, because I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I want to learn a lot about from Chris. So let's just get right into it. So let's start with how do you get certified as a AAAI, personal trainer, right?
Yeah, certified personal trainer.
Yeah, so how do you do that?
AAAI is probably one of the easiest certifications. You can go online, you take a course. Like for that course, it's honestly like one day. Like you can get certified. It's the biggest part of that is you're just taking the test. So they're expecting you to come in there with a lot of knowledge already.
Gotcha.
I am going to get certified there's 2 other certifications, ACE and NASM. Okay. They're the other 2 biggest certifications. They're pretty expensive, and they're around like 6 to 8 weeks. So it's a lot longer. AAAI is the main reason why you would want to get certified to begin with, is so that you can get insurance. So like if you're training somebody, you want to make sure that you can get, insurance for that. And, if they were to get hurt or something like that. Also, you want to make sure that you know what you're talking about. So
Right.
like if you can't pass the test, you probably shouldn't be training other people.
So let me ask you this. So you said like they're expecting you to come in with a bunch of knowledge. Like where did you start? Where did you get that knowledge to pass the test? Like is it just in passing, from working out for so long and kind of sort of just acquiring the knowledge, or like were you Googling shit? Like were you learning?
I was definitely Googling my ass off.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I started lifting. What was it, like freshman year of high school? Like
Okay.
late freshman year of high school. So it's been just shy of 10 years now.
Yeah,
that
that's
I've
crazy.
been lifting. So through that time, it's something that genuinely interests me. So it's not hard for me to just go up to people, ask and be like, yo, what is that exercise you're doing?
Yeah.
Why is that beneficial? Why is that not a good exercise? Or is there something better? Just ask questions.
Absolutely.
So someone that you probably know is Luke Giannetti. He really helped me out in the very beginning because he knew his shit for personal training. He did a lot of wrestling, so he had a lot of mentors, coaches, teaching him how to do a lot of the exercises, what's good, what's not good. So I actually met him in the gym. Met him at high school, obviously, but didn't really know him that well. Met him in the gym, and he kind of mentored me, helped me a lot with that. So, and that was kind of the start from where my fitness journey started. So.
Yeah, bro. It's great to have those kinds of mentors, dude. You gotta find the places. Some people they might not be going everywhere you want to go, but there's a lot of there's certain aspects of their life where you're like, yeah, I want that aspect of your life. For example, Mike is basically my Luke Giannetti, Mike Collins. He literally, I guess it was September. I was like, dude, I have no fucking clue what I'm doing when it comes to lifting. I don't know. Can we just go to the gym and I just watch you and you show me what's good? Dude, we did it for 2-3 weeks, and then finally I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure I got the basics down, and then you start working on it yourself. So
yeah,
that's awesome to hear. So I guess that kind of answers why and how did you get into bodybuilding? But what, I guess you didn't really give me a good why. What interests you about it so much? Why do you want to lift as much weight as you possibly can?
Yeah, so that's kind of funny. So when I first started, and a lot of guys can be able to
Try not to do this all the time.
I got you.
Yeah.
A lot of guys can be able to relate to this. So I started in high school, and I was like, I want to look good for girls.
Yeah, okay,
that's
fair enough.
The general reason when I started.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I was like, okay, this is not a sustainable reason.
Yeah,
eventually you reach your goals, and you're like, okay, I feel like I look pretty good. I'm in the shape that I want to be in. Eventually, that's not going to be a sustainable reason. So I need to find a different reason, and it can't just be I just want to get big or something like that. So, and we had briefly talked about this over text. The reason that I have now, and it's been for probably the last 7 years, and this goes directly with entrepreneurship. I have businesses to build, I have money to make, and I have people to help.
Yes.
That's my 3 reasons why I'm continuously doing this, and I can't do those if I'm dead, right?
Yeah,
or if I'm in a hospital, can't do those. So I need to stay in good shape so that I can continue to work towards those goals, crush those goals, and help those people. So.
Yeah, and I would also say one thing you had said to me. I remember this really stuck with me because it's something I resonate with really hard. More in the context of running for me, but it gives you a base, and you didn't say it gives you a base, but you said there's so much uncertainty in this world, and it's so nice for me to know for 2 hours I know exactly where I need to be, and there's no uncertainty. I know what I'm going there. I know I'm going there. I know what I'm doing, and I'm gonna just fucking do it and get it over with. And that's something that I really had, I don't think a lot of people realize, if you don't have a base, systems to fall back on, how are you going to reach the highest level of, performance if you don't even have the fucking habits to fall back on in 100%. Times of not feeling super motivated like that. I'll be honest with you, I don't really have a base when it comes to weightlifting to fall back on. I feel like I'm forcing myself every single, almost all the time when I go to the gym. For running, it's completely different. I know I'm running at least 4 times a week. I'm running 6 miles. Every run I'm going for 6 miles 4 times a week. So that's my base. I know for a fact that I'm falling back on. You probably have a similar thing.
It's the same thing. Yeah. Or that's honestly my stress reliever. I'll go in there. Dude, my favorite thing is to go in there when I'm angry or I've had a bad day or I'm
yeah.
stressed and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna fucking kill this shit out. Like, I'm gonna kill this shit.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel that too. Yeah, it's just like after like a long ass stressful day for me of like work or something, like whenever work's like just been like a bitch like that day, it's just like my workout is always so nice. Always so nice. So I feel that. All right, so let's get into a little bit of like the technicalities of your fitness journey, your fitness goals. So first off, what are your fitness goals? I mean, what are you trying to do with your body right now? Are you bulking? Are you cutting? Are you trying to lift a lot? Are you trying to have endurance? You know, what's the plan?
So I'm definitely trying to cut. I'm in a cutting phase right now because it's like it's almost summer, so I'm trying to get in shape. Definitely trying to get as strong as possible and as big as possible, but like I'm not going to get there while I'm cutting right now. So just focusing on strength, and a lot of those strength gains are going to come down. I told you previously that like my biggest goal right now is squats. I want to hit 400 pounds. Like that's the goal, and I'm so close to it. I'm not quite there yet though. The form is not where I want it to be, so I'm not going to count it yet. But close enough.
So what is your max squat? Like 390?
I'm at 385 right now. For where I can do one rep like ass to grass, like like perfectly.
You'll get there. How about chest press? What do you max out there?
Chest press, I'm at 270 pounds. For like clean.
Nice. So I guess let me ask you this: like, you've been in the gym like crazy for the past, I don't know. Would you say you've been going as hard as you've been going for the past 10 years, or when did you really ramp it up? Was there a reason you started to ramp it up, or is it just sort of like the habits built up over time type thing? Yeah,
it definitely is. So like I would say for the first, and this is average for a lot of people. The first 3 years, I was like off and on. Didn't really know what the fuck I was doing. That's with a lot of people. I remember actually I had a conversation with Luke Giannetti, and he's like, dude, look, why are you coming to the fucking gym? And I was like, because I want to like get in shape. And he's like, then why are you fucking half-assing it?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay, I need to get my ass in the gym. So like, it didn't just happen right then, but it did slowly build up. And after about 3 years, so for about like the last 6 years, like I need to be in the gym at least 5 days a week. I try to get there 6 days and then one rest day. So that's where I'm at right now.
And how long? For how long?
Honestly, it just comes down to like when I'm done. Like I'm just like I get in there. I mean, I've told you I get there like late as fuck.
Yeah.
I normally leave when people are just coming in for the morning. So like I'll get there normally around like midnight, and then I'll leave sometime around like 2 or 3.
Okay, so that's insane. So I guess my question would be then you don't say like, okay, I have to be there for this long. You just have a workout. You go do it. And then once you've done your workout, you're fucking gone. Yeah. So what does a typical day at the gym look like for you? Like, give me like a pseudo workout. What would you do for like I don't know, like a pull day or a push day or something like that?
Sure. Yeah. So I do like push, pull, legs. My push and pull are actually a little bit odd from what most people do. So on my push day, normally you'll have chest, tris, and shoulders. That's like a normal push workout. I actually substitute buys for tries, so I flip those on my.
Why is that?
So there's a video by Jeff Cavalier, Athlete Next, someone that I really watch a lot. He has a lot of great information on there.
He's like a fitness influencer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a big physical therapist in the sports community.
Gotcha.
So one thing that he was kind of stating is you can actually like the buys and tries, they recover fairly quickly, and especially when you've been working for them for a while. It's hard to get it's hard to strain those muscles and have it where it's really like bothering you the next day.
Which is what you want.
That's what I want. Yeah. Like if I work it out and I go really hard, like especially with legs, there's been days when I'll literally crawl up to my house from the driveway. I'm not even shitting you, and I'm like, dude, I can't walk. I've seen like my legs just like bubbling and shit because like they're.
The only time I've had that where like I literally couldn't walk was after like 3 weeks ago. I went for like a 20-mile run. I literally
I can see that.
Dude, I sat in the elevator. I was like, I can't take another step. But go back to what you're saying. What's a typical day?
Yeah. So like, and then I'll do pull will be deadlifts, back. And then just tries. And then normally I'll incorporate some like abs in there. And then all these exercises have a little bit of cardio because I'm on a cut right now.
Any abs in there, core?
Yeah, so I'll do like obliques, core, abs towards like the end of my workout. I do those
every day, every workout.
Those are honestly, it's at least three workouts is what I do. So it's kind of just like when I feel them. My push day is like the day that I like the most, but it's also my lungs. Like I'll be there for probably 2.5 hours.
I feel the exact same way, dude. I feel the exact same way about like chest and shoulders. Like whenever, like sometimes I'll do like push, sometimes I'll just do chest or like just focus shoulders, and like it's just so, I don't know why, but push, like chest is so enjoyable to me. It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna get in there and just push as much weight as I possibly can.
Exactly, dude.
But I guess give me the details of like what workouts you're actually doing on a push day. Like what is a regimen that you would do?
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, it does fluctuate a little bit. It kind of comes on, like, when you've been lifting a long time,
you got to switch it up.
Yeah, like that, and then you'll also know, like, when you're coming into the gym, you're just like, okay, like, shit, I know I need, like, this is lacking a little bit, so I need to really focus on this. I normally start with chest, so, like, first, like, 10 minutes, I'm warming up, just, like, warming up my rotator cuff, stuff like that, doing exercises for that.
Like what?
So I do, I have no idea what they're called, honestly. Those, and then just like basically like lateral. Yeah, just like honestly don't even know what they're called.
I got you.
The workouts I do. So those three, and I just honestly go between those for the first like 15 minutes.
Okay.
To just like warm up your rotator cuffs.
Yep.
I'll normally start with, I start with my heavy movements. So like any like, I don't want to say stretching movements, but movements that really like, for lack of a better word, stretch out the chest, like flies.
Yeah.
I do those last because I'm not really pushing big weight. So like I'll start with chest press.
Okay.
I'll do around 4 to 5 sets of that. I normally do like a warm up set. And then after that, I'll go to like incline for top.
When you do your chest press, are you starting out with a little lower weight and then moving it up? Or are you staying at a consistent weight or?
Yeah, so normally I'll go right to 135. That's what I start at. That's like my warm up weight. I'll do one set of that, and normally I do anywhere from like 15 to 20 reps of that. Yeah. Then I'll go up like right to 225.
Oh, so you jump?
I jump like right up, and then I can normally do around 8 of those. I do it until I can't do at least 6. And after I get that, then I back it down to around 200, and I just do sets of that for as many as I can possibly do for the remaining like 2 or 3 sets.
Okay, interesting. And then next, what do you do?
Then I'll do incline. So, and that's basically, all these are kind of the same thing. They're all kind of, build up to that. And it's technically a pyramid set. So you go like, you start low, build up a little bit, and then you come back down to kind of burn
yourself out.
So same thing with, incline, and then for decline, I actually go straight to cables. Okay. And you can get like a long bar, and you just put it on there, and I just push off like as much weight as I possibly can. And then it goes to stretching movements, so like like flies, stuff like that. Okay. And then shoulders, something that I used to only do barbell, pushes. Now I do, dumbbell. Now I do barbell.
Oh, okay. So you used to only do dumbbell, now you switched to barbell also. Yeah. Okay.
So no particular reason, like I don't know, I feel like, I guess maybe I have better control over it since it's like an attached bar. You have more rotation, but whether you want that or not for your shoulder, like I feel like maybe not the worst industry, but the most common injury is like your shoulders. Right. So, and like I had a buddy, he tore his rotator cuff, and like once you tear that, it's pretty much fucked for like ever. Trouble, like, he's had 3 surgeries. It's still not right. So like,
and does he lift still?
I mean, he's like in his like he's like 50. So like he still lifts, but like he was trying to go for, what was it? So like when he was in his 40s, he wanted to go for like Guinness Book of World Records. Wow. Like he was up there for like, I think he was gonna go for it for like lat pull downs or something, and I don't even know how much weight he was pulling. It was like crazy. And then just like over the year, like just it's good to talk to those people, because you're like, okay, like no offense, but you fucked up. What did you do?
You overtrained.
Like
what the fuck?
Tell me what you did so I don't do it.
Right.
So and he's like, anything behind your back, like don't do lat pull downs behind your back. Don't do, like, I'm trying to think of like what else. Make sure you have correct form when you're doing like chest. Like a lot of people, they like flare out their shoulders, like certain things like that. And I'm like, okay, that's things to avoid. And also, like, if you feel like your shoulders like feeling sore or it's not feeling right, like don't push it, just fuck off.
That's a huge thing. Yeah, I
So.
feel that. Do not aggravate it. Like, I remember I was at the gym with Mike like a month ago or two maybe, and like we were doing dips or something. Like he was like doing dips, and he was like, "Oh, dude, like my shoulders hurt." And like he was like, "Oh, I'll do one more set." And then he did that one set. He was like, "Fuck, dude." He was like, "I just fucked myself." He's like, "I knew after like the third dip, like, and he couldn't do chest for like a week, or like a month after that, because it was just like bothering him for the whole time. And like finally it got better, right? But it's like you could have just not done that one extra set.
Yeah.
You probably might have been sore for like a week. Now you're fucked for like a month. But like, yeah, no, I feel you. Like, you can't over push yourself sometimes, but at the same time, you gotta, I don't know, everything that you just said about like your whole regimen and the way you approach working out, I guess, is just like, you need to know what you're going for, and you need to know your body and like where you max out and like how much weight you can put up safely, like to maximize your gains.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And I mean, that video that I sent you of me going for like 400-pound squats, right. I mean, that's also, you need to know how to, if you're in a bad situation, how to deal with it. Like, I was trained in like, you know, if you have 400 pounds on your back, if that hits your fucking, you know, your legs, your back, you're going to feel it. So, like, you better know how to offload that quick. So, like, I can offload it, and I mean, it's still like, you're like, holy shit, like, I just dropped 400 pounds. Yeah. But at the same time, like, you know, like, if you're in that situation, you know how to deal with it. So, and you handle it.
Absolutely. So. All right, so let's move to, actually, we'll do diet after this, because I wanted to talk to you a little bit. I didn't write this down because I totally forgot about it until just now. But I know you started, like, doing Muay Thai, right?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what is Muay Thai? Why did you get into it? Just, you know, I guess start with what is Muay Thai, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so Muay Thai is like a fighting style. I think it's most suited for probably like street fights. Not that I'm trying to get into street fights, but
but if someone wants to press you,
if someone wants to no. So like if someone like, I mean, it's all about more or less protecting yourself, but at the same time, that fighting style is basically like, if someone comes at me, like, I'm going to use everything to fuck that person up, like to make sure that like I can get away safely. And that's really what a fighting style should be. Like, it shouldn't be to like go fuck up people. It should be like, if I'm in a situation, I know how to get out of that.
Yeah, so I would say a lot of other fighting styles like assume that the fighter is going to like fight honorably almost.
Exactly.
Follow a certain fighting style, and Muay Thai is more or less like, yo, this motherfucker could be doing anything when he comes at me. Like, I gotta handle that. Okay, so why did you want to get into that? Was it a self-defense thing, or were you just sort of wanted to get into some type of fighting, or?
So, I mean, I really started it because my one buddy got into it, and he's like, hey, like, I'm doing this alone. He's like, come basically, you know, come do it with me.
Could be cool.
And then, so I started doing it, and it's, I mean, I already have pretty much my plate full with, like, fitness. Like, I'm already there all these days, but I was like, fuck it. I was like, I'm cutting. I'll kind of condense my workouts where I'm working out, like, 7 days a week. And then I'll do Muay Thai as kind of like one of my rest days.
Okay.
So I would do that like...
You're fucking crazy.
I would do that like 2 days a week. And how they kind of were, I don't know if this is all the time, but how I kind of started off in the class was they teach you how to really defend yourself. So like you have like certain movements like, you know, just like that, where you're like protecting, you know, the...
For the people listening, he's covering his face.
Should have made that clear. So yeah, basically using your arms and your hands to cover the vital you know, parts of like your head and stuff like that. So we learned that. That was like the first maybe like 3 or 4 weeks, honestly. And I mean, this is going to kind of go into a weird story, but...
That's cool.
So...
I like weird stories.
We went down to New Jersey, Wildwood, New Jersey, and I think I told you about this.
You might have.
You probably know where this is going to go. And we went down there, and randomly during, like, this whole, you know, vacation, we went down there, like, these 5 guys randomly, like, jumped me, basically, like, beat the shit out of me. Like, there was no way I was going to, you know.
It's 5-on-1, dude. You're not winning many 5-on-1s in your lifetime.
No, that's not going to happen, like... So realistically, probably should have died. Like realistically, like dude, I was down on the ground basically, like you know they're kicking the shit out of me. Yeah. So and the only thing that really like saved me was those first 4 weeks. Wow. Like dude, if I would not have taken that, I'd probably be dead. Like not even to be like
That's
weird.
Crazy.
So I took that as like shit. Like I should be doing this long term. So like I should definitely get into this, continue to do this. Like that's got to be a sign. At least I'm gonna take it as one. I mean, I think that saved my fucking life.
I mean, that's not awesome that happened, but it's an interesting, approach.
Dude, fuck it. I'm gonna take it as a fucking good thing.
Absolutely,
man. Like,
yeah. I mean,
that's what got me into it.
Right,
That's what's gonna keep me into it. So,
I love that.
Hell yeah.
That's dope. Okay, so let's now get into a little bit more about fitness health. Let's talk about diet a little bit. So, I guess first let's ask this. Now, what is more important in your opinion to maximizing like gains? Is it gains in the gym, lifting, like shit like that, or is it your diet? I mean, both are obviously like super fucking important. I think that's common knowledge and pretty accepted at this point, but what is going to get you farther? Like, obviously you need to work out a little bit if you want to put on muscle, but if I'm working out like crazy and eating like shit, am I still going to put on muscle? I guess, is diet more important than actually making gains in the gym, or do you think they're pretty even, or is one a little bit more important than the other?
Sure. So I'll answer the first question.
Yeah.
Diet is way more important.
Yeah.
Like 100% more important. If you eat like shit, you're gonna still put on gains. Like you're still gonna make, but like you're leaving so much shit on the table. 100%. Like I would say diet is like the classic is like everyone's like, going to the gym and working out is 100% and diet is working 100%. But it's like, really, let's break that down.
Mm-hmm.
Diet is like 90%. The gym is like 10%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like 100% diet, you need to be getting your protein intake in. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm trying to lose weight. I want to, cut off carbs. I want to cut off fat. Or they're like, I'm trying to put on weight and put on muscle. I want to, eat a shit ton of fats, eat a shit ton of carbs. I would stay away from really, that mentality. Yeah. So like understanding that all three macros are good for multiple different things. Mm-hmm. So like you have your protein, obviously that's the building block of muscles. You have carbs, that's energy, that's instant energy and also energy for your brain. Mm-hmm. And then you have fats, that's the main way that your body moves around vitamins, minerals, nutrients, all that stuff. So you need all that shit. So people that are going on like the Atkins diet or the keto diet, it's not going to be good long term. Yeah. Like you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, and I know people who have like lost weight from that shit, right? And then as soon as they get off it,
you get it right back.
It's like whoop, fucking rubber band.
Exactly.
Like you're right back where you started. And it's like knowing that, like so many people know that, right? That it's like, okay, yeah, it's a quick, like you're gonna lose weight quick when you go on keto, like that's all right, but there's also a large chance that you're gonna gain it back, and so many people still do it and expect to see long-term results. I'm like, use your fucking brain, like, and I'm not saying like anyone that's on keto is an idiot. Like, if you want to do it, like, do it, but just understand that if you're just doing it to lose weight and you're gonna go right back to the same shit as soon as you get off of it, you're gonna gain the weight back. Yeah. Like, it's 100%. So okay, that's interesting. So that's actually like interesting to me because I would have thought it was more 50-50 than that. Mm-hmm. So I do like to hear that because, my diet's definitely not as good as it could be. And I haven't been seeing crazy gains like I wish I was, but I'm also, like you said, like, people going to the gym and like don't know what the fuck they're doing a little bit sometimes for the first couple, like, dude, I've only been going to the gym for, I don't know, like 9-10 months. Like, I feel like I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing there. And on top of that, my diet's not that good, so it kind of makes sense that I'm not seeing crazy gains like I should be expecting. You know what I mean?
Dude, I mean, like, in the very beginning, that's like, so like, you're probably familiar with like newbie gains, where it's like you put on like crazy amounts of gains in the very beginning. That's like life's way of saying like, you're on track, but you still need to keep learning. And I mean, dude, I'm still learning new shit. Like, 10 years later, like, I'm still learning new shit. Like, the smartest guy in the gym is the guy that understands that he knows fucking nothing. Yeah. So, like...
That's just life in general.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, it's like, the smarter you get in any subject, once, like, if you're stupid, you feel like you know it all. But once you start to get smarter, you start to realize, like, holy shit, I know nothing.
Exactly. 100%.
So that's good. So what do you eat on a day-to-day basis? I mean, what's your diet consist of? Do you have, like, a strict standard meal plan, or do you just have sort of macros you follow? Do you have like a couple meals that you sort of switch on and off? I mean, what are you doing normally?
Yes, I mean that's an awesome question because that kind of leads into my meal plan. I'm glad that you said meal plan because a lot of people say diet. I try to stick away from even the word like diet, because the first thing I hear when I see or when someone says diet is restriction.
Yeah.
Like what I can't have. Like I already know what I fucking can't have.
Yeah.
I want to know what I can have. Like what can I eat that I'm gonna fucking like today that I can stick to my goals. So it definitely changes like very sporadically.
Okay.
I just know like my macros that I need to hit. So like I try to keep my fats and carbs moderately low. And then my protein as high as possible. I have to have at least 200 grams of protein per day. Like no exceptions.
You're probably so full, dude, all the time.
No, you'd be surprised. Like I'm always fucking hungry, but like, and I try to go very, very low carb throughout the day. I obviously still have like carbs. I want to have carbs with every meal. And then right before the gym is when I have like my dinner. So I have my dinner like super fucking late because I'm going at 12. And I'll have like a very big carb meal, and that does change. So like right now, I've been really digging what is it, like the Kodiak cakes?
Oh,
like,
I love them.
The ones that you make.
Yeah.
I'm a little weird. I put them in like a bowl, mix them up with egg whites.
Oh yeah.
And then I just put it in the microwave for like 45 seconds, stir it around, and then put it back in for like a minute, and it's like a fucking big pancake in a bowl, and I put like low calorie chocolate syrup on it and low calorie syrup, regular syrup.
That sounds amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's banging.
That sounds great. Oh my god, bro. So I guess so for carbs you're saying like Kodiak cakes, protein I'm assuming like lean meats, like chicken, and anything else. I mean, do you eat like non-meat based protein more often, less often, like?
I definitely prioritize like meat, like so obviously chicken is going to be like pretty much your biggest, your best protein source there.
Feel that.
I do a lot of lean beef, so like I like to mix I like to make like taco meat out of that stuff. I do every now and then put in like some like non-meat substitutes like protein powder. I have a lot of that. Not
you have a protein shake every day?
I have probably 2 protein shakes every single day.
Yeah.
So
one scoop each.
Normally 2 scoops each.
Holy shit! Okay.
So so you can really only take in, the average person can only take in around 50 grams of protein every 2.5 hours. So I try to maximize on that as much as I can. I mean, if you have to take in 200 grams of protein, that's basically 4 meals.
4 meals, yeah.
So, or if you're doing, like sometimes I'll be closer to the 40 gram, so now you have 5 meals. So somewhere around there, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so one question I had, and I think I asked you this before, but I think it would benefit everyone to hear. So high weight, low rep, high rep, low weight, when does each make sense? Does it depend on where you're trying to go gains-wise, if you're trying to cut, if you're trying to bulk, or is it more or less like depends on the muscle? I mean, I think that's what you had told me, so I just kind of want to hear you lay that out.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of myths, obviously, in the fitness community. One of the biggest ones that I even believed for a long time was do super high reps and you'll get lean, which is complete like bullshit. Like you have the type 1 and type 2 muscle fibers. You need to be working both of them kind of to break down what they are. I'm going to probably get them confused. But cool. I think it's type 1 is your fast twitch.
Okay.
And then the other one is type 2 is your slow twitch. I probably have that backwards. Basically, 1 is for super heavy movements. So like if you're doing a deadlift at like 500 pounds and you're quick pulling it up, that's going to be, your fast twitch. Your slow twitch is going to be more movements that are like slower weight. So like if I'm, drinking something or, something like slow, like hopefully you're not going at your face like that really quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you want to be working both of those. Now, your fast twitch is going to grow like a lot bigger than your slow twitch.
Okay.
Like very, shit ton bigger than your slow twitch.
And that would be like high weight, low rep things, or
not necessarily high rep, but just lower weight.
Okay.
Yeah. So so you do want to be working both of them, and you want to work them both to, I mean, not always failure, but work them until you're straining yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or at least close to it. Yeah.
Exactly.
I got you.
Yeah. So you should definitely be doing both. That being said, there are certain muscles that they benefit more, and this is going to change from person to person, that are going to benefit more for the fast twitch. And this is different for every single person. Like you look at the athletes that are like the fucking biggest,
yeah,
and if you study them, you're going to see that they have a shit ton of fast twitch fibers, like, and you're just born with that. You can't fucking change that.
Interesting.
That's just the way it's gonna fucking be. So, that being said, if you have more slow twitch, like, work to your fucking strengths. Like, still work out those, you know. So, like, I have moderate. I don't have the biggest fucking arms. Like, I have smaller arms. So, like, I work out my arms every fucking day, pretty much. Obviously in different ways. Like, I give them each a rest day, but I can already tell that I have more slow twitch in my arms. So, like, fuck it, I'll work to my strengths. I'll go, you know, I'm still gonna do heavy ass weight, but my burnouts are gonna be fucking crazy, and I'm gonna also have sets of just fucking, you know, higher reps, and that's gonna be like around like 15 to 20, and then a moderate weight.
Gotcha. Interesting. I never knew that. So, see, I had asked you that, and you sent me a text about that, but I did not understand everything that you were talking about.
It was kind of hard to tell it over text.
Right. Well, that's good. That's good. Okay, so let's move on from sort of the health and fitness, you know, conversation. Let's move on to sort of the business. Let's talk about first. Let's go into Pure Electronics. So I guess so Chris owns two businesses. I said that at the beginning of this podcast. If you didn't hear, he owns a business called Pure Electronics, and he owns one called Sick Whips Detailing. So first we're going to talk about Pure Electronics a little bit. So first off, I guess, when did you start it?
I started this back in, it was 2017.
Okay.
Somewhere around there.
So it's about 4 years old.
4 years
now.
old.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So I know we were just talking about this on the show, and I was like, and he read the thing I had written down. I was like, what is the business model? He's like, honestly, dude, I don't think I've written a business model.
Which is terrible.
Well, I mean, that's totally okay, dude. Like, entrepreneurs are the types of people that just, I can tell you're a doer, you're a fast actor, you just start fucking doing it. So
yeah.
I respect that. But I guess not so much what is the business model, but how do you make money? What is the operation what is the operation side of the business? What do you do on a day-to-day basis to produce revenue for your business?
Sure. Yeah, so every day in the morning I put out ads. I mostly use Facebook.
So you use Facebook ads?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Put them out there basically just stating like, hey, I buy electronics. So I buy like broken, used, you know, new sometimes electronics, and then resell them. So if it's broken, I fix like iPhones, laptops, stuff like that, tablets. I fix all that shit, and then I just have an eBay store that I send it off on. And then I also do like very, very scarcely, I do like where I'll go to people's houses and fix like their iPods and stuff like that.
Okay.
So or iPads, you know, iPhones, all that shit.
Gotcha. So I guess the first question I would have is why eBay? Why not any other Amazon or any other reselling platform? Why do you like eBay?
So eBay is probably the easiest place to sell stuff. Like their fees are very straightforward. It's like 10%. They take 10%, which sounds like a lot, but like I'll sell shit like quick.
You gotta build it into the price.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I build like my shipping costs into there. Also, the thing that I love about eBay is if you go into like their filter, you can change it to like sold items. So I can see what other people are actually selling this item for. And I'll be like, okay, I'm just gonna put it like $1 under them, and it'll sell like I'll sell stuff in under 30 seconds.
I would ask, do you sell most of your inventory quickly? Like, do you hold a lot of inventory?
The longest I've had inventory is like 3 days.
So you sell it?
Yeah, it goes out quick. Like I buy it and I don't like a lot of people, they'll be like, okay, like I want to test everything, and like I definitely make sure I test everything, but like I test it like most of the stuff that I test on the spot. Like before I even buy it,
right.
I want to make sure that it's, you know, I'm not buying something that doesn't work. Or if it does, I know about it and I can fix it.
Do you do that now because you fucked up before?
Yes.
So that would be the first thing, like, hey man, respect, like you learn from your mistakes. Like,
100%.
I fucked up, I didn't test this, I sold something faulty, and never let that happen again. So, okay, that's good. So why did you start it? I mean, back in 2017, what was going through your mind? Were you just bored? Did you need something to do? I mean...
Dude, honestly, I was working at Giant back in 2017.
Okay.
You know, that was like
food store for anyone that doesn't know that. Grocery store. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was like my first, not my first job, but my first real job for like an actual company. And honestly, like just was not making enough money. I was like, you know, I have not a whole lot of bills. I'm living at home with family, but still you got like, you know, car payments or, you know, insurance, gas, all that stuff. Yeah. And I was like, dude, this is ridiculous. Like I'm working like a 35-hour week and I'm still not like I'm basically just evening out. I was like, why am I even living right now? Like, not even to be dark, but like, why am I living right now?
It makes sense.
I'm making no money, so I was like, I need to figure out a way.
It's
to make money.
it's like you're sitting here like, okay, I'm working, I'm not saving any fucking money. Like, that has a huge impact, I feel, on like your outlook on life, because it's like, if I'm not doing anything right now in my present to build towards a better future, why would I expect the future to be better? Like,
exactly.
So, you know, like, okay, so I respect that. So you started it basically because out of more or less necessity. I mean, yeah, because you just wanted to make more money, and, you know, not just saying like, oh, need to make more money, but I mean, you're obviously a doer. I'm sure, like, have you always been interested in electronics? I mean, was this sort of like the smartest path for you to go down in terms of like starting a business and, you know, getting it up and running quickly?
I mean, honestly, it didn't even start like this. So like we just went through a rebranding like a year ago. Honestly, the original business was called Chris Thrift Shop, and so I started off with clothes. Like I would go to like Goodwills and shit and buy, you know, like there's a popular Instagram. I think it was like thrift flippers or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen them a million times. Yeah,
you've seen them? Okay.
They flip thrift clothes, right?
I know those guys. Okay. Like I literally met those guys, and I was talking with them, and they're like crazy about it. They make a lot of money, but you got to be like quick. You got to be there like every day, and you need to know like they would go to like Plato's Closet a lot of times, and their inventory, they would hold it for like a long time. And I was like, number one, I don't have a whole lot of space. I'm living in a home. My parents don't really want me like just, you know, having all this shit around. Yeah. I got to get rid of shit quickly. And also the margins are not that great. So like you can sell shit, but you need to have a lot of shit just kind of on standby.
Quantity. You need a lot of quantity.
So like I would make like maybe like $5 on like a pair of pants, and I'm like, is this worth my time to like, like I'll maybe spend 3 hours in there and I'll get all this shit. I'll list it all, but like just the listing process, the mailing it out to the customer process. So it's like I need to have something that is I can get shit out quickly. I can, you know, I'm not going to hold on to it quickly. I know like what I'm looking at, like brands. I don't know brands. Like you'll look at something and it'll be like, oh, this is a good brand, but people don't want that shirt. Or so like I was like, okay, what is selling the fastest on eBay? Like, and it's electronics, 100%. And specifically, it's phones, iPhones. So they're the top of the top. They sell very quickly. So like I said, I'll list the phone on there, and if it's not gone in an hour, I'm like, oh, is there something wrong with my post?
Yeah,
something's going up.
Something's wrong.
Yeah,
interesting.
So I'll get it like out the door very quickly. The profit is great, and a lot of times like someone breaks their phone, they're gonna go to like the mall. The person's gonna be like, okay, it's $100 to fix it, and they're like, screw it, like I'm just gonna sell it. Yeah. And they sell it to me. They get more than they would have because I know I can fix it for very cheap. Like they're gonna charge you $100. I can fix it myself for $10 and pocket that $90 plus a little bit extra because you don't want to fix it. So
it's a win-win.
Yeah, 100%.
Gotcha. That's interesting. So when did this whole, I guess, when did you fully pivot from everything? Was it, well, first off, when it was Chris Thrift Store, was it just clothes? I mean, when you started, was it just clothes? Okay, so when did you pivot from just clothes to, was it pivoting from just clothes straight to just electronics? I mean, was that essentially like, or was it like a gradual sort of?
It was a gradual, yeah. So like I was like slowly like easing out of the clothes and going into electronics. And I mean, I actually found a guy, his name's David Kosciuszko, and I've actually talked to a couple people that like work directly with him, and they helped me a little bit with kind of like understanding the business, understanding, you know, where to sell, the fees, things to avoid, you know, certain things that you want to sell. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely a gradual thing. And eventually I realized, I was like, why am I even selling clothes? Like the clothes were just sitting there and the electronics were going out like crazy. I mean, my first year I did, like, honestly, the first year I was expecting to do like, I was like, dude, if I could make $1,000.
Yeah, like revenue.
Yeah, dude, honestly, I was like, if I could make $1,000 revenue, I was like, I'll be happy. And then I looked at my records were terrible the first year.
That's laughable, bro.
But yeah, dude, it's so like after the first year, I like looked at my thing, I was like, oh shit, I made over like 40 grand. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is good. So I'm gonna continue with this. So I mean, yeah, just, and a lot of that time I wasn't even looking at my sales. I mean, I knew what I was buying things and selling them for, but like at the end of the year when you actually look and you're like, oh shit, I did well this year. Like I need to continue with this.
Right. So you looked at your numbers and probably realized like, okay, I'm making way more money on electronics.
Oh yeah, I could have quit my job. I should have quit my job.
Yeah. That's awesome. So since then, has revenue stayed steady? Has it increased? Has it decreased? What, COVID, has anything really, has it been doing all right? Has it been doing a little, has it staggered,
It's pretty much staying steady from COVID. I'm expecting it to be a lot higher this year now that we're kind of on the tail end of COVID, or hopefully.
Yeah.
I would have thought in 2020 it would have actually amped up because people want cash, they want to sell their electronics, but what it actually came down to is they're not buying new electronics, so they don't have anything else to sell. So it definitely amped down a little bit, I would say. In 2021, I'm expecting to do at least like 60K.
Nice.
That's like we're projected as. And then I have a really good, I'm trying to get like clients for electronic companies. That's like my next goal. So I have actually ended up getting a client from Citrix that's basically going to just sell me leases. So that's been going like super well. If anyone knows like the tech industry right now, GPUs are huge for crypto mining.
Yep.
So I've been getting a lot of those, and those are selling like hotcakes. Like
that.
I'll list GPUs for like $300 over their asking price, and I'll be lucky if they sit there for 30 seconds. Like they fly the fuck out. So
that's insane.
So that's a great client. Just trying to kind of build those clients and with those tech companies.
So what is the best flip you've had? What is the craziest thing you can think of? I mean, I know you told me one before, but I'm curious.
I think it's still going to be, it might be the one I told you. I'm trying to think. It's between a couple, actually.
Okay.
The best one I think I had was there was a guy that worked at a hotel. He was a mutual friend. Is that the one I told you about? Yeah, so he's like, yeah, I got these, what were they even called? They were like
switches,
big,
right?
Switches, yeah, thank you. So like they're basically big routers essentially, and they use them in hotels to so every room has Wi-Fi, and or if they can use them for other reasons. But so he had like 6 of them.
Anyone that knows computer hardware is probably screaming the fact that you're just like, oh, they're just big routers.
Yeah, they're not big routers.
Go ahead.
Yeah. They're switches. We're just gonna call them switches. Yeah. So he's like, yeah, like I have 5 of these. He's like, honestly, they just gave them to me. He's like, I don't know what they're worth. He's like, I know you buy electronics though. I saw your ads. And then we had a mutual friend. So he's like, what would you give me for them? And I was like, let me look them up. And he's like, honestly, dude, just how about like $100 for the whole lot? And I was like, all right. And like I looked them up and I was like, all right. So like I got home and I listened. And I was like, oh shit, these are, and like there's all different models and shit. I knew I could make at least like $100 profit on them, just by looking at them. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And then I got home and I looked at everything and I was like, oh shit, like these are worth a lot of money. Like the one that he gave me was worth like, I think I sold it for like $1,200 or something like that.
Oh my god.
And then one. That was just 1 out of 5. They were all different models. Well, that was the biggest one, and then there was 2 different models. So there was 4 other ones. 2 of them were the same models, and then 2 of them were the same models. And I sold the other ones for a combined total of $600, and then the other one sold for like $400. So figure I made around like, what is that, $2,200?
I'm trying to do the math on the fly right now. That's $2,000 plus $1,200 is $3,200 minus, so like $31.
A shit ton of money. Yeah, I'll have $100 investment.
Jesus.
And so that was definitely my biggest flip. But I mean, anyone that's seen these, they're huge fucking things, and they're like awkwardly shaped. So I was like, I saw them. I was like, oh great. I was like, how the fuck am I gonna mail these things out? Like, so I walk in the United States Postal Service with like these like fucked up boxes.
How did that go?
Yeah. She was like, yeah, like we're gonna have to charge these by weight.
Yeah,
I was like, I kind of
charged out the ass or shit.
Yeah, right? I did, but like the money was still like crazy. Like I even built that into my cost. And after I even sold them, I had people ask me, they're like, I would pay you more, and I was like, they're gone. Like,
I'm happy with what I
yeah, 100%.
All right. So I guess my next question was gonna be, how are you getting leads? But I know you said you run ads on Facebook. I mean, do you see your business getting more leads from the ads on Facebook, or would you say that there's a lot of word of mouth and recurring customers? Are you necessarily focused on getting new leads at this point, or are you more focused on keeping your customer base and having them tell other people about you? I mean, what gets you more?
Yeah, it's definitely both. I definitely want to continue with the ads, but referrals, I mean, honestly, everyone says like word of mouth is the best, and I was like, like I don't know if that would be the best for this business because it's not necessarily strictly recurring. But word of mouth is definitely huge. Like maintaining a good, business, keeping people happy, not ripping people off, not trying to like scam people, doing the right thing is gonna have people coming back to you. Like I've had so many people that are like, oh, I got your business card from this person, or I heard about you from this person. And I mean, there's not a whole lot of people in this area offering the same thing. Like you can go to like GameStop, or like T-Mobile, pretty much, yeah. And dude, I blow all those companies out of the water, like because I have no overhead, I have no employees to really. I mean, I have one employee that I work with, but he's more or less a contractor.
Is he like a virtual assistant or?
No, he's just a friend that
Okay.
that I work with.
Gotcha.
And if he gets me like clients, I just give him like a kickback basically. So yeah, I mean my overhead's like super small. I can buy all the parts myself. I can fix it myself. I am pretty much the business. You know what I mean? So I don't have to pay anybody.
So let me ask you this then, because the first thing in my mind that always jumps up when someone says like I have no overhead and I can do it all myself is, what happens when you have to scale? What happens when you start getting like crazy amount? Like, I guess is the plan. So let's say your business randomly just starts going crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's say you get a lot of deals coming in. You're starting like $200,000 revenue a year. What are you gonna do then?
I'm gonna eventually have to get people. Yeah, I mean, 100%. It's
a learning process, I'm sure.
I was listening to a podcast before, and the standard is like if you want something done right, do it yourself. But like I feel like that's completely wrong. Like realistically, if you can hire someone that's even gonna do something at like 70% efficiency, you should hire that person. Because you have, if you're running the business, you need to stay level-headed. You need to make important decisions that, for the overall growth of the company. You should not be handling the, not that that's menial tasks,
all the operations.
But yeah, you need to have employees for that. So I'm at a place right now where I can do it all. It's going to eventually ramp up to the point where I'm going to have to hire people.
Right.
It's hard to find people where you're like, I mean, not that there's an abundance of smart people out there that know their shit. It's how do I know that you know your shit? You know what I mean?
That is the thing.
I need to know that you're gonna do it properly. You're gonna like not waste time, not waste energy, not waste money.
Yeah.
You're gonna do it effectively.
People lie in interviews.
100%. Me being probably one of them.
Right.
We've all done that.
Yeah, exactly. People bullshit, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing. And yeah, I agree. It's definitely not like, how am I supposed to know that you're cut out to do this job when I had a 30-minute conversation with you?
Yeah.
Like, it's just not feasible. But sometimes you got to go out on a limb. You got to take their credentials that they provide you with, as fact, and hope it works out for the best. And yeah, I mean, I feel you. That would definitely be nerve-wracking if I was in a position to hire right now. So I feel you. All right, so let's go into the next one. This fucking blows my mind that you have another business on top of that, on top of your 9 to 5. We're going to talk about that too. But so let's talk about Sick Whips. When did we start this?
This is only a year old, so I've only been doing this for a year. So very new.
And so the operations of this, I mean, it's detailing cars, right?
Right.
So do you go to their house and detail their car for them? You drive up to them. So that is how it goes, right?
Yeah, so that's basically my kind of like my niche is I actually come to you. So like I come with all the the power washer, all the chemicals that I need to clean it, both inside and out. Obviously they have to provide like water and electricity because I can't really bring that. I mean, unless I have a generator, but like I'm not at that point yet. We're still growing. But yeah, so basically that's my thing. I'll come to their house, and that's kind of been like my huge selling point is like, I mean, people will put ads out there and they'll be like, yo, come wash your car. We'll come wash your car. And it's so much easier for a person to be like, I'm just going to sit inside my house and let this guy come to me.
Yeah.
I don't mind paying $50 extra or whatever for him to come to me, and I can just sit inside and, maybe continue to work or whatever and make more money that way instead of just wasting time for them to clean it.
Yep,
So,
paying for the convenience, paying
100%.
to save themselves time. And I respect that. I mean, that's the new age, right? Like,
yeah.
people get groceries delivered to their house, and some people that aren't on that wave would say like, oh my God, I would not pay $7 grocery delivery fee. It's like, okay, but if I get paid $50 an hour, I'm paying $7 to save myself an hour. I just came out ahead.
Yeah, I'm actually losing money if I do it your way.
Right,
so,
exactly. Like,
100%.
but that's I feel like that's a very new way of thinking that a lot of people don't have. So I guess, what is the price point? What do you charge for? Is there tiers? Is it a basic detailing for everyone? I mean,
yeah, there's definitely. I mean, it depends what the person has. So like SUVs are actually take so much longer than like anything else, like longer than like trucks, because the cabin is so big.
Okay.
Like if you're looking at like a truck, like cleaning out the back is pretty easy. You're not gonna wax it or put anything on it really. You're just gonna clean it out, and the cabin is a lot smaller. With like an SUV, it's a lot bigger. So like for that, I charge around $300.
Okay.
And it like. I tell that to people and they're like, "Oh my god, $300!" And then I get there and I'm like, "No, I'm gonna be here all day.
Yeah,
like
I'm going hard on this shit."
Yeah, like that's right. Like, I'm gonna probably get here at like 10 a.m. at the latest, and I'm gonna stay till probably around like 6 to 7.
So it's a day.
It's a day. Yeah, like I go all out. Like the car will basically look like it's brand new. Like you just pulled it off the lot. That's always the goal. And there's gonna be certain caveats to that where you can't. I had one where the guy literally had like Sharpie all over like the seats because his kid was in the back, and I was like, I'm gonna tell you up front, like I'll try, but it's probably not gonna happen. So, I have some pretty strong shit, but like I don't know about that. We'll see. I did end up getting it out,
nice.
But so yeah, for like just an interior, it's normally around like $100, depending on what they have. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. And then if it's like the full car, if it's just like a sedan, somewhere around like 200. Trucks are around like 250, somewhere around there, and then SUVs are normally around like 300. So yeah, somewhere around there is kind of my price point. But I kind of get there, I kind of take a look at it, and I'm like, okay, this is what it's gonna be. Going by just kind of my hourly rate that I have in my head.
Gotcha. So what? I just lost my question. I was gonna ask. Okay. What's like your overhead there? I mean, it sounds like it's literally cleaning supplies. I mean,
so like there definitely is some other things. So like gas to get to their house.
Billing software. I'm assuming you have to bill them or something, or.
Yeah, I do have billing software. Honestly, a lot of that's free though. I basically just print out like an Excel thing.
Okay.
So that's pretty much free. The cleaning supplies. There is some things that I have to use for like every single one. So like a clay bar. If I'm clay barring the whole car to get out like all the little things that are little specks that are in the actual paint. People say you can reuse those, but I feel like the customer isn't getting like the best experience if I'm reusing something from the old thing. So it's honestly like $2. I'm just gonna throw it out, get them a brand new one. I feel like if they're paying me $300, I can spare the extra $2.
Yeah.
So yeah, my overheads probably all in all. This will move a little bit just because of depending on where they're located, compared to myself. But the overhead's somewhere around like $20 to $30
per car. Okay.
Yeah. So it's very, very low. The strain on yourself is pretty high. Like you're feeling it the next day.
It's the sweat equity more than anything.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. So I guess first question is, how are you getting leads? Are you running ads on Facebook like you're doing with your other business? Is that most of your leads coming from?
Yeah, I would say this one is actually more word of mouth. When you have a business that it's like the majority of your profit is coming off of like kind of like one item or one situation, it's a lot easier to do like word of mouth.
Yeah.
So like all it takes is one person to be like, hey, he did a good job. They come to me, and now I have a whole day of work basically.
Exactly.
As opposed to like a phone where it's like, well, it's just one phone, it's out the door, now I need another one.
And do you operate in only like one specific area? I'm sure that would almost bolster the word of mouth like marketing tactic. Like, do you only operate around your house or your residence?
So I'm basically like, I'll drive honestly as far as like an hour and a half. Like I've done it before. But I tell the person up front, like, look, this is where I'm located. Because you're this far away, I'm going to be charging you extra. Like it's probably like, I know that my services are, like I do a good job. I know that I'm going to have the job looking, the car looking basically brand new. And because of that, that's why I can charge what I charge. And that's why I'm still willing to come to you, but I'm going to charge, an extra $100. Like I had a guy that, I'm trying to think where I drove. But it was like an hour and 10. I think it was in like Ridley or something. It was like an hour and 10 minutes. For me, that's like an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, I'm willing to do it, but I'm going to charge you $100 extra for the job.
That's gas, dude.
Yeah, and that's honestly, I was like, it's my time and the gas. That's what I'm basically charging you for. Because I'm gonna have to get up earlier. Not that I'm like opposed to doing that by any means, but I'm gonna have to get up earlier. It's getting everything in my car, getting all the little things that people don't think about, the gas, the driving. So I'm gonna charge you $100 extra. And we ended up doing it, and he was very happy with the work and everything. But I was able to kind of show him. I have an Instagram set up. It's Sick Whips Detailing.
Yeah.
And,
at Sick Whips Detailing. Give it a follow.
I had to plug it. And I have a lot of my work on there. So he was able to look at it and be like, okay, yeah, I know you're gonna do a good job. So I showed up there, and he was super happy.
That's awesome. Yeah, I guess that's a really like clever. I mean, not even clever. It's pretty blatant, obvious way of marketing. Is literally. Every single car I detail, take a picture of it, post it on Instagram, be like, fire detailing job right here. Like, it's done, yeah. I mean, that's perfect, right? That's literally putting every finished product that you ever have right in front of your consumer. Like, you cannot argue with my results. My results are right there. You can't tell me that you didn't know what you were getting. I literally put it in front of you every single time I've done it, on Instagram. So I like that a lot. Okay, so last question about Sick Whips, and then we'll move on to a couple other things. So, COVID. Did you start it during COVID?
I started it
right before.
I think it was like right before COVID, and I definitely saw a bit of a dive because that's not a necessity. And
person to person, no one's driving their cars, so I could see that. So, I guess you started right before COVID hit, so you don't even know how this is going to be post-COVID, right? I mean, you haven't really seen...
Yeah, I've had a couple people so far this year. I've just started up because obviously I can't do it, during the winter and stuff like that. So I just started up a little while ago where it's, warm enough out that I can do it. Although, ironically, I've done one in December. So I've done it before. That was just an interior clean, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
You weren't freezing your ass off.
I was definitely... Dude, I had a full coat on. Like I was freezing. But, dude, fuck it, man. I'll go for it.
It's a guap. Get anything for the guap, bro.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So I mean, what was the revenue like last year?
So it was my first year. I mean, my goal was honestly to just recoup my costs of everything that I had to buy, and then like double that basically. That was my goal. So I think I ended up making 2,000 profit was actually over my goal. So like for all my costs, I think I spent like $500. So basically, I wanted to make $500 profit, and I'm making like a little over 2,000 profit. So
doubled it. Shout out Dan Faust.
Yes, sir.
Only Dan Faust will know what we're talking about. Okay, and one other question I was gonna ask. What was it? It was about Pure Electronics. I don't know. I lost it.
It'll come back.
Yeah, it'll come back. Probably when we're like 5
when we're done.
Past that.
That's the way it is.
It's all good. Okay, so let me ask you this. This is sort of about business productivity. Jim sort of encaptures a lot of the things we've been talking about. But like, bro, you got a lot of balls up in the air. Like you do. Like you go to the gym around 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, 6 days a week. You have 2 side hustles, and you have a full-time job. I mean, pretty like. I feel like I sort of operate the same way. I mean, I'm not saying like, I'm like working as hard as you, because honestly, I think you have a fucking shit ton going on. And I don't know if I can say that I work as much as you do, which is whatever. I mean, it's not like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing or a good thing, but like, how are you managing all this? How do you manage your time? Like, there's just like, just from hearing everything, right? Like, okay, a certified personal trainer. Okay, I go to the gym all this time. I work a 9 to 5. I run these 2 side businesses. One's bringing in like $60K a year. That's not like that's not like you're not working. Like you're working a lot. Like I guess how much do you work a day? So how much time do you spend a day focused on generating revenue for your company or working your 9 to 5? And how do you approach time management in general? Do you plan your days? Do you what do you do?
Yeah, definitely plan my days. I mean, I have the standard like 9 to 5 job. I have times throughout my day while I'm actually working that I have, I'm lucky enough to have kind of downtimes.
Yeah, I feel that same.
So I use that time. Like everyone has the same fucking 24 hours. So like fucking use that time. If you can find like, if you have 10 minutes, like what can I do in 10 minutes? And then that's not to say that like every minute I'm just like, okay, I'm on my shit. Like, dude, sometimes you're just fucking relaxing.
Absolutely.
And everyone needs that. But like, if you have, like, if I have 20 minutes of downtime, which every now and then I do, I'm like, okay, I need to put out an ad right now.
Yeah.
Or I need to, you know, I have a customer that was, you know, just reaching out to me. They wanted to have a car done, or they have electronics they want to sell. I need to reach out to them. I need to, you know, follow up with them and see if we can get a business deal in our time that we can meet, or whatever it may be. So, you know, using that little time, and then also, like you stated, planning out your day. I try to plan out my day actually the day before.
Like the night before?
Yeah, normally like sometime the day before, whether it be the night before. Normally it's like anytime from when I get done work. I have like a nap, but like I sleep in 2 4-hour schedules, so my sleep schedule's beyond fucked. But before that,
structured.
Yeah, I mean, before that, I plan out like things that I have to do for the you know, the next day, and then after that, I'm like, okay, what do I want to get to that I may not get to, but like I have the things that I have to get to, like putting out ads. I'm not going to get business if I don't put out those ads. What am I going to do after this? Like, what is hey, I would like to get to this. If it's not a necessity right now, what can I get to?
It's like you have your base, like we're just talking about in
100%.
Fitness, whatever. It's like you have your base, your non-negotiable, like critical tasks for the day. Like for me, when I started making content, I was like, okay, this is your base right here. 1 piece of content a day. I was like, you put out 1 piece of content a day, no negotiations. Then you just build around that. Like, maybe you're feeling good one day. Maybe you put out 2 pieces. Maybe you start a fucking podcast. Maybe you do all this other shit. Like, just goes on from there. So like, I like that approach to things, right? You have your base, your systems, and then you have like your strive. Like, okay, if I can find time to do this, fucking why not do this? I'm gonna have to do it at some point anyway. Like that type of thing. So I kind of approach my days with the same mentality. Like I definitely struggle sometimes with remembering to plan my days, and I can tell when I don't how unstructured my day is because of that. So definitely something I need to work on, but yes, I agree with that fully. Okay, so I think that sort of covers the business side, business productivity, you know, whatever you want to call that, and the health side of it. So I want to get into a little bit because I know, so you're a 401k, 403b pension specialist, right?
Right.
So that's what you do for work. You advise people on those types of things, tell them what they probably need to be doing, whatever. So for anyone that doesn't know, all that stuff is essentially retirement plans, you know, employer-sponsored retirement plans, right?
Right.
So let's first start, like, lay out to me 401k versus 403b versus pension. What are the differences between each? I don't think you as an employee get a choice of whether you get, it's whatever your employer is offering you, right?
Yeah, I mean, basically,
so just, I guess, define the 3 so we understand what those are.
Right. So yeah, like between those 3, yeah, you're right. You normally don't get a choice. You're going to either be assigned one, basically. 401k is for your, you know, straight like business. Most businesses have a 401k. 403b is going to be for like an organization or like some government jobs have.
So like a nonprofit?
Right. Yeah, okay. Nonprofit for 403bs. And then pensions is just like a lot of times companies will offer that instead of a 401k, or sometimes they even offer it, you know, with a 401k. The main difference between that is you'll have like a designated payout. So that's
flat rate.
Right. They call it defined contribution. So you know what you're getting, whereas the other one is you don't know. You don't know how much your 401k is going to grow. You don't know, you know.
Very uncertain.
Right.
So 403b, is it right to assume that that's tax exempt?
So I deal basically with, I do deal with them like they're very scarce. I don't see that a lot of them.
Okay.
That I'm not 100% sure on, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I believe they are, but...
Or there's some tax benefit to it.
There's definitely some tax benefits to them. Those are, I don't see them very rare. The plans that I deal with mostly have just pensions and 401ks, so they're like very scarce. Normally when I see 403bs come in, I'm like, I need to look up some information.
I got you.
In like our handbook or whatever.
So, okay. Sorry, do you have anything else?
No,
okay.
That's what I was gonna say.
So 401k, from what I understand, so I have a 401k. You know, I work for a company, I have a 401k, whatever. And a lot of finance people, that I listen to, one main guy, you know Robert Kiyosaki, I'm assuming.
Right.
I'm sure you've read Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh, yeah.
Who fucking doesn't? But it's like the fucking one of the most entry finance. You got it. If you haven't read it, if you've not read Rich Dad Poor Dad, please open your mind, because that book opened my mind a lot. But what I was gonna say is he does not like 401ks at all. He's not a fan of them, and basically, from what I understand, he doesn't like them because when you pull your money out of there eventually when you're 65 or whatever, you get taxed like you're an employee. So you get taxed like it's earned income, right? Is that the case?
Yes. So, and you had kind of broken down one thing about like Roth, and I'm sure we'll get into that later. That's kind of not a way around it, but definitely you get some huge, tax exemptions for
Roth.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, but yeah, you're correct. When you pull the money out, you're going to get taxed in your tax bracket for the money that you get pulled out. So like, if you pull out 30 grand, they're going to look at that as like, okay, you made 30 grand more
on top of whatever else.
Right. And that could bump you into another tax bracket. So I mean, we could, like, if we go into Roth, like a lot of people don't.
Well, that's the next question. So just go into that.
We'll go right into
what does it make sense? 401k versus Roth. When does it make sense to have a 401k? When does it make sense to have a Roth?
So yeah, let's actually break down what Roth is. So Roth is basically after-tax money.
Mm-hmm.
So you're basically paying the taxes up front on that. The reason why you'd want to do that is when you take it out, you pay the taxes on it, and here's the big caveat: any growth that's made is also tax-free. So that's huge. So a lot of people don't know that. As soon as you pull the money out, basically, like let's say you put in $1,000, the S&P on average doubles your money every 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you start when you're 25, you want to retire at 60.
Yeah.
So now that's doubled 5 times. What is that? You're up to like $32,000 from a $1,000 investment. It's all tax free.
No unrealized capital gain. Nothing.
No. Yeah, you pull it all out. There is 2 qualifications. Your age has to be at least 59 and a half. So you have to basically, be older.
Same
you're
as a
locking
401k.
Right. Yeah, you're locking up your money. And your original start date has to be at least 5 years ago. So both of those things are very easy. They set you up for retirement. If you were putting forth, now you can do this in a 401k too. A lot of people don't know that. So there's like a lot of times when people hear Roth, they think of Roth IRAs.
Mm-hmm.
You have, this is going to vary from employer to employer. I'm lucky that mine actually offers Roth contributions in a 401k.
Wow.
So what that means is I can put forth after-tax money, Roth. It's still going to abide by the $19,500 limit for the full year.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it currently is in 2021. And the employer will match that. The employer is never going to match Roth funds though.
Yeah.
They're going to match you in pre-tax dollars. So like if you put forth 5%, they're going to match you 5%, but it's going to be pre-tax. So when you pull that money out, you're going to have to pay taxes
on their contribution.
Right. Yeah, like the employer's like, we're already giving you free money. We're not going to pay your fucking taxes for you. Like, we're already giving you a handout. So, but still, that's huge. That like, I mean, I can understand the reason why he's saying that he doesn't like 401ks, because you are locking up some of your money. I think there is.
He does like Roths. He's not against Roth IRAs. He's not a fan of 401ks.
Yeah, so like I would say if like do your 401k, do the Roth contribution. Like we said in the beginning of this podcast, this is not advice.
Do your own research.
Do your own research. But what I will say is my thought or my opinion is if you're making under $60,000, max the fuck out of your fucking Roth. Like your Roth 401k. And the reason why I'm saying under $60,000 is because essentially you're paying your taxes up front. You're paying them at that tax bracket. Right.
If you're making more later, doesn't matter.
Like I mean, everyone has the intention of making more later. Like no one's like, hey, I hope I make less in like 10 years. Like no, you're like, I want to make I'm hoping I'm making 6 figures by like in the next couple of years. So
6 months.
I want to pay those taxes up front. So when I pull it out, they're gonna be like I'm trying to fuck the IRS as much as I possibly can.
Legally fuck
them. Let me make that clear. Yeah,
I agree.
So like put that money in as much as you can. You don't have to do the full $19,500 limit. I actually wouldn't recommend that. Like what I do, my employer matches 4% dollar for dollar. So if I put forth $1, they're going to give me $1 for the first 4%, and then for the next 2%, they're going to be 50%. So essentially, I give them $1, they give me 50%. So effectively, I'm putting forth 6%, they're giving me 5% back.
That's
so
fat.
Yeah, so it's really good. I don't even know what the dollar comes out to. I think I put forth like 90 and they give me like 80 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, per paycheck. So it's free money that you're going to get. Like, you can't technically touch it until you're 60. There is some exemptions to that. But if you start now, that's really not a whole lot of money.
Right. You just forget about it. Here's my take on all that shit. It's like, if you're not even seeing it and you're just like, I take this a step further. Like, I have like automation set up with my whole bank account that it's like, as soon as money goes in there, some of it goes to a savings account, and that savings account, goes into the market at some point. Some of it goes to like a fixed expenses account. I never even see that money because I don't want to see that. If I see it, I'm gonna fucking spend it. So I get like
100%.
$300, $400 in my checking account, every 2 weeks, and that's like, okay, groceries. Maybe you go to the bar once or twice, buy some beer or whatever. But like that $400, once that's spent, like, you have no money for the rest of the 2 weeks.
Dude, if you're doing your shit right, you should have like little money in your savings. Like, you should not have like people that are sitting on 30,000 in their savings.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, but you're losing money.
You are.
Inflation is fucking you.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
you should be. I love that notion of just like moving money. And I told you about a book a little while ago, which is kind of ironic because you're always telling me about books.
Yeah.
But The Automated Millionaire. That's like honestly one of my favorite books because he's like, look, you're gonna have on days, you're gonna have off days, you're gonna have days when you're like, hey, I'll put money into this brokerage, I'll put money into this, index fund, whatever. Like, but on your off days, you may not want to do that. So, and like you had just stated, like when you go to the bar or whatever, you're gonna spend money. You don't even want to know that money exists. So like, I'm the same way. I have about $1,000 every 2 weeks going out of my bank account, and it's just like I never even. It literally goes in and it goes out. Like I don't even know it's there. It goes all. I have a bunch of investments that are passively paying me, that are paying for growth.
Yep.
And I just don't even know that I don't even look at them a lot of times.
Right.
Just let it do its shit.
Well, that's a great segue into the next part. Really, the last part of the discussion I wanted to have is investments. So basically, the point I have written here is stock / the market in general. But really, I want to talk about crypto too. But let's start with your approach, because I want to hear what you do in terms of investing. So what is your attitude or approach, your investment style to, let's just start just the stock market? Are you like a buy and hold? Are you a swing? Are you a day trader? Are you selling, buying shit all the time? How do you approach stock market investing necessarily? Do you have index funds? Do you buy value stocks and hold them? What do you do?
Dude, I'm all of it. I love it all. So like obviously I'm in finance right now. So I'm in all that stuff. I do day trading, I do option trading, I do long-term holds, I move investments around. Right now I have around, trying to think, maybe $250, so like not a whole lot of money go into a couple different stocks that I'm watching every single week. And a lot of those are like airline stocks and cruise line stocks. So I think those are going to come back hard.
Yeah, Southwest I have a lot of.
Yeah, like I put mine in the Jets ETF. That's the only airlines ETF that exists. So basically you have like all the big airlines in that. And it's those consistently are going to, grow and come back. So I'm not even worried about those.
I bought a U.S. oil index fund or ETF I think it was March 2020.
Oh no!
It's up like 116%.
COVID.
Because the value of oil was like dead.
I probably bought it like the worst time. I bought it like a little bit before that. And I was like, that's gonna get rid of.
Oh yeah, you got fucking shit on. Yeah, write that one off.
Write that one off. So that's another thing. Know when to pull out if you have to. And then I have those, and then I also have a passive index fund that I basically it pays out high yield. What am I trying to say here? Dividends, yeah.
So, what index fund?
I think it's called DGRO. DGRO, I think is what.
Who's it through? Do you know? Not Vanguard, right?
No, it's not Vanguard. I have to look into it.
But it's just a dividend index fund, basically.
Yeah.
That's the only index fund you own.
That's the only. Yeah. For my personal brokerage, I have a lot in like my. I have like an IRA, Roth IRA, 401k, all those. Those are obviously in more aggressive funds, but this is more just like passive. You always want to have something like that that's going to be stable to stabilize your money, and it's going to kind of balance out any losses that you may get. And then I'm in SPY, so obviously
SPY.
Yeah, S&P 500.
Oh,
so
got you. Okay.
I've put into that since I started my brokerage. That like $50 goes in there religiously, like every week.
Yeah, so I'm basically, I would say the same way. I'm probably more index fund heavy than you are. I have probably like 80% of my brokerage just straight index funds, maybe like 75%, and I have like total international. I have some total stock. I have some S&P 500. I have precious metals now. I just bought because I think those are going to go pretty. Yeah, I think those are going to do pretty well. With the money printing that's going on.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have a couple other ones, but yeah, I'm pretty heavy on index funds. I have a couple stocks. Really, the only. I mean, I don't know if what. Do you buy blue chip stocks? I mean, are you? So
I do. Yeah, I have a couple shares or not a couple shares. I have I probably have a couple shares actually now in Apple. For the blue chip stocks, I tend to not really buy shares a lot. I do a lot of option trades on those. It's so easy to make money on option trades with them. Like, just pay attention to like their earnings and like their earnings dates and stuff like that, and you can so easily like put debit spreads, call debit spreads, stuff like that. So I'm huge into that.
Explain to the people that don't know, like myself. Well, I mean, I have a general idea of what options trading are, but I don't have a very, very good understanding. So, do you want to give a quick 5-minute, up to 5 minute, I guess, explanation of what is options trading? Why should people learn about it?
Yeah, so I'll break it down like as quickly as possible. So essentially, an options trade is you buying like a contract in some way. So you're buying a call. You're basically saying, hey, I think this is going to go up, and it's for 100 shares. You're buying the right to 100 shares to buy at a certain price. You're buying the right to sell them at a certain price. Right. It's always dealt in 100 shares. Now, if you do a call debit spread, you're basically buying a call and selling a call. So if you're selling a call, that means that you're actually the writer of the contract.
Okay.
So when you're doing those, you're basically kind of hedging your bets. So like if for some reason that is, number one, it's going to be a lot cheaper, because like if you look at like an Amazon call, like I don't have like 40 grand sitting around to buy like one. So I'll buy like a debit, a call debit, or what am I saying? I'll sell a call, so it'll form a call debit spread, and that'll kind of output my cost. So it may be like $250, and maybe my max gain is $250. So like, now I mean, more often you want to get your max loss a lot lower than your max gain, or else if you lose 50% of the time, you're not really making.
Yeah, you're trying to what's it called? Lower your risk as much as possible. Yeah, understandable. Okay. Yeah. So I'm sure a lot of people here listening didn't understand that fully, and totally understand that. But if we tried to go that in depth into options trading, we'd be here all fucking day. So just understand that, if you don't understand that, maybe you shouldn't get into options trading without doing a lot more research. Like myself, like I would never get into options trading just because I know that I wouldn't be able to get that much into it to the point where I'm like confident in my ability to make money in that market. Yeah. So I buy value stocks instead of, and I buy things like Workday and Google and companies that I essentially know are going to be good long term. Southwest Airlines, for example, and just hold them, because a lot of people, like, that works for a lot of people, guys. I mean, if you're smart and you don't let your emotions run away with you, and you don't just fucking sell shit at the first fear, you'll probably be all right as long as these companies are good. So just do your research, find a good company, and
I mean, that goes right into like crypto. Like the crypto market's like very much down now. Yeah. I have a lot of friends that are like, oh, dude, I'm pulling out. Right. I'm pulling out. And I'm like, okay, like you can, but I'm telling you right now, like when it sinks like that, I'm like, dude, I'm buying in like crazy.
It's on sale.
Exactly, dude. That's the way I look at it. I'm like, I'm getting a discount on it. So like, I did the same thing during COVID. Like everything tanked and people were like, pull out, and I was like, put
my money down, dude. Take my money faster. Yeah,
100%. Like I was throwing money in there. I was like, I almost wanted to take like loans to put money in there. I mean, I wouldn't do that, but like that's almost where I wanted to be. So, and I mean, that's why I did so well in the stock market in 2020. So,
agreed. Yep, me too. So that, I mean, before we go a little bit more deeper into crypto, because I want to talk more about like the principles of it, not necessarily all the market drama right now, but we can talk about that a little. But before that, I want to talk about the stock market. So what do you think of the market in general right now? I mean, everyone thinks it's overvalued. Like GDP is like through the roof, artificial, completely artificial. Like everything's artificial. Like we can see the stock market growth right now. All this shit is artificial because a bunch of fucking money just came into the economy. So obviously, short-term market's gonna go up. Do you think there's a correction coming? And if so, which I'm sure you probably do, how are you going to position yourself against that? Is crypto the answer? Is precious metals the answer? I mean, obviously, I'm not saying like, oh, you're a fucking guru and know it all, but what would you do to position yourself against a market correction right now?
Dude, diversification, 100%. Like, I mean, just, cost in with the market. So, like, if it goes down a little bit, you're getting it at a discount.
Yeah.
Like, if it goes up a little bit, you're gaining that, that growth with that. And then, you're going to buy a little bit higher. There's 100% going to be a correction. Like, we are so overbought. Like, the RSI for, like, even SPY is, like, above what it should be. So, we're 100% going to see a correction. I mean, 40% of the United States money was just printed in the last 14 months.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, you're going to see a correction. There's going to be inflation 100%. So, I'm just going to continue my investments. All these, these happen. These dips happen.
Yeah.
You look past in history, stocks fly down, stocks fly up. The average is still going to be, around 7% per year of growth. So you're going to have some bad years, you're going to have some good years. A bad year is coming, but like I said, everything is on sale now. Or it's going to be.
It's going to be on sale. I mean, that's a great way to look at it. Like,
100%, yeah.
I remember I read like I remember like one of the first books I read on investing was like Tony Robbins' Unshakable, and it's like 150 pages, like basically tells you like it's like super entry level. It's just like just buy index funds, chill, be a defensive investor. And like he talks about like, and I read it like literally right when COVID happened, because it was when I was starting to like get enough money to think about, okay, I need to start investing my money and putting it in the right places to make money. And I remember as soon as I read this, I went and bought index funds like right after that, because he was like, understand that like when these bear markets happen, like, and everyone else is freaking out and going crazy, he was like, these like billionaires, like people with a lot of money, they're licking their chops. Like they're like, holy shit, we're about to make guap in like a second. Like think about COVID, dude. Think about all the billionaires and all the rich people that just cashed out on COVID.
Oh, they made millions. I mean, we had I wouldn't say a slogan, but we had a saying rather at Vanguard just between the employees, and it was lock in those losses.
Yeah.
Because it was like we have all these people we're talking to, and they're like, I want to pull it out, put it in bonds, and we're like, okay, like we get off, talking with them. All right, lock in those losses.
Yeah, idiot.
So it's like, and I mean, you have a lot of people that like, I understand they're trying to protect their investments, but at the same time, like, dude, you're 30, you're not retiring,
and you're losing like your capital. Like when you pull out, like, okay, say you're in at this cost, and then the market goes way up, and then fucking huge correction goes down. If you now like reposition yourself when you're down there, you just lost so much of your capital, like so much of your investment just got wiped out, and it's not coming back when the market corrects because you just completely repositioned yourself.
I mean, this kind of goes directly with what you put out a video, a little while ago, where it was like, stop being normal, be like the abnormal. Yeah. Look at what other people are doing and go against that. So, like, honestly, I saw all these people, they're pulling money out, they're putting it in bonds. So what did I do? I called my, I actually ironically have some funds at Fidelity. I called them and I said, I'm pretty sure these are the funds I'm in. Is that correct? Okay, I want to put them in more aggressive.
Yeah.
I did the complete opposite, and it paid off. Like,
right.
I want to double down now.
Absolutely.
Because everyone's doing the complete opposite.
Yeah, it's like, dude, if you're less, like, if you're under 40 or 35, whatever, if you're young and you're stressing about like a bear market now, and like you're not, like, you don't plan on touching that money in that fund for a long time, don't fucking worry about it. Like, don't get emotional, because you're literally just fucking yourself long term. Like, you're not gonna touch that money. The market has literally corrected itself every single time. And it didn't take 30 years for it to correct itself. So when you're sitting there being all emotional because something just happened this year, like, understand the market goes up 7% every year. Like, that is the average, and it never has. There's never been a bear market that's lasted like 10 years. Like, that just doesn't happen. Like, market cycles happen. So when you're 30 years old, stressing out about the index fund that you told yourself you weren't going to touch until you're 60, like, why are you worried about a bear market that's going to last like at max? Like 2 years.
You're literally like 40. If the bear market lasts 20 years, the United States isn't going to be a thing.
We got bigger problems.
We got bigger problems than, your 401k.
Exactly. All right. So that kind of wraps up the stock talk. Let's get into just a couple topics on crypto, and then we'll probably end up wrapping this podcast up. So I guess first off, I have Bitcoin/crypto. I mean, are you in more Bitcoin? Or are you in more altcoin, shitcoin, trading?
I'm definitely not in shitcoin. Good. So and that's not hating on anybody that is, because I know a couple people that have made a shit ton of money on like Dogecoin and like Shiba Coin. And understand that that's basically a lottery ticket, though. Yeah. Like that's my take on it. A lot of these meme coins or shit coins, they don't have anything backing them. They don't have any reason to exist.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely huge into crypto. It's the same thing with everything. I diversify all my funds. So like I don't have, all my money in one thing. I have, Bitcoin. I have Cardano. I have Ethereum. I have VeChain. I have a couple other little ones. But all ones that do your own research. This is not like advice. Do your own research. But these are all ones that I personally found value in. Mm-hmm. And look, I mean, right now, in my opinion, it's the time to buy. We just went through a little bit of a bear market. I'm actually down on my funds. And like same thing.
You're probably buying more.
Dude, I'm buying like crazy. I'm like, okay, sales on.
Right, exactly. So I guess I want to talk about more of the principles of cryptocurrency because I fucking love them. What do you like about it? I mean, is it the decentralization? Is it, just the lack of control that an entity has over it? I mean, that's my favorite part about it.
It's definitely that. Yeah, it's definitely the decentralization. I mean, you have, I'm trying to think how to correctly word this.
Yeah.
You definitely obviously still have to pay taxes on it. It's going to be like that, but you have a lot of these, like, Bitcoin, where there's only a certain amount printed. Mm-hmm. And that's that's the problem with the US dollar is they just keep printing and printing and printing. Like, when I see something that, something that has value that's money or is currency, that there's only a certain amount of it and there's not going to be more, that's what I really like.
It's like gold.
Exactly. And when you even have something that is backing them, like a reason they exist, like Ethereum or Cardano, where they're solving issues, that even is, everyone's like, cash is king. Like, dude, cash fucking sucks. Dude, like, get your money out of cash. Put it in something that actually has value and is, like, doing something.
Burn your fucking paper printed by the government immediately. No,
don't burn it. Don't burn it, but
use it. Yeah, put it to work, though.
Give it to somebody else that wants it.
Right. Okay, so I guess you said something that interested me, and this is a big concern that I have, because you said, okay, yeah, you're going to get taxed on it. And my concern is, and I want to hear what you think of this, is like, is there a chance that just over-regulation, like everything else, like shit just getting regulated to the fucking and dying? Like, do you think regulation of crypto makes it a less attractive investment vehicle? I mean, I feel like it definitely does to a point. I still feel like the scarcity aspect of it makes it more attractive than, say, like the dollar or something like that. But I guess what I'm saying is, like, it still concerns me that if we haven't seen the last of the attempt to regulate crypto, because especially with the administration we have in now, and I'm not saying like fuck the administration, I don't give a fuck, like fucking government sucks in general, whatever. But like, it's just like a currency that they have no control over the supply of is probably terrifying to a government.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a chance that they're going to try to over-regulate cryptocurrency to make it as unattractive as possible to people. Do you think there's a chance that fucks it over?
No, I think crypto is going to be, crypto's been around for a long time, and I'm somewhat of a newer investor. I've only gotten in like the past like year, which I think is the same for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's definitely blowing up. I mean, it's like anything. It's going to be subject to tax, and it's going to be subject to overregulation, stuff like that. I mean, you can look at that in two ways. You can say like, okay, yeah, they're going to make sure that it's like a lot of people are making money and they're not paying their taxes on it, and it's like, well, they should be paying their fair share on it as well. You have like that new bill that was like the hidden treasure bill or whatever that was put into effect to make sure that they're cashing those people. They may have. I mean, this is comes down to opinion. They may have taken it a little bit too far when they're putting a bill in place to basically use that money for hidden treasure to pay for other things that they've already So it's like you already have a plan where you're going to use this money for. So I don't know. It's still up in the air at the moment, but it doesn't scare me off. I definitely want to invest.
Agreed.
It's like the stock market. It's super regulated, and people are still investing in that. I mean, people hook their whole retirements to it. So.
I know, and that's crazy to me too. It's like people literally hedge on. No, my voice is cracked. People hedge all like their fucking livelihood on shit that we fully acknowledge is like subject to getting fucked by the government at any moment. I mean, like that shit that blows my mind. And I guess crypto at least isn't like if the government were to regulate the fuck out of it, that doesn't affect the price of it unless investors react to that regulation, which I mean, I guess is kind of the same as the stock market, you could say, but crypto is so outside the system. Like the stock market is traded in U.S. dollars. You know what I mean? People put dollars down. I mean, Bitcoin is not just traded in U.S. dollars. It's traded all over the place. So even if there could be some regulation coming out of one country, that doesn't mean another country has to follow, the exact same suit. This is one man's opinion, obviously. I'm not an expert on Bitcoin. It really interests me, and the principles behind it really interest me, and I hope that it withstands the test of time because it's really the only answer we have right now to.
I mean, look at it this way:
like global economy.
If the government thought that this was going to die, they wouldn't have put bills in place. That's the way I look at it. Is I'm like, oh, they're putting bills in place. They know this is going to be a long-term thing.
Yeah.
If they weren't, they wouldn't put bills in place to over-regulate stuff like that. It may scare off some investors. In fact, it's definitely going to.
Yeah.
But the majority of people, I think, are going to stay in with it. Maybe not the shit coins. I mean, I hope some of those die because I don't want the market to turn into that. I want it to be where they're this is actually solving like real world problems and helping us grow as a society, and I think a lot of crypto is doing that, but I don't think it's going to scare people off.
Yeah.
I think it's going to stay.
So my take on a lot of these shit coins, something Robert Breedlove said. Robert Breedlove is like one of the big Bitcoin advocates. He's like very, very loud about Bitcoin. Has his own podcast called What Is Money. It was also on Lex Friedman's and Robert Kiyosaki's podcast. I think I talked about this on my last podcast with Mooch, but basically like when he talks about cryptocurrency and like where it's going, fuck dude, I totally lost where I was going with that. What were we talking about?
So cryptocurrency, overregulation.
Yeah.
It's still gonna exist. It's gonna come back to you.
I
can feel it. It's gonna come back to
you. I don't know. Guys.
That's the worst, man.
Okay. So we're talking about how shit coins are. We want those to go away. So he had like a bunch of historical facts to back this up. But basically, he was like, when there's a shitload of like different types of currency, like they will eventually consolidate to the largest like market cap holder. And he was like, basically what I'm saying is I think we might have like 30 coins like 10 years down the line because so many of these other shit coins, people are going to like, the value is just going to go down, like eventually just start to go down and people are going to realize like, okay, I should probably get out of here and invest in a more stable or more, reputable coin like Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever else, the ones that are actually solving real world problems that are new technology, not just like, yo, I took this open source code from Bitcoin, fucking plugged a couple more like pieces of logic in there, and like now I have my own coin. Like you're fucking I don't know. I think that's kind of ridiculous. And I do love the idea that Bitcoin's open source, so anyone can take it and add on
actual useful things like Ethereum has done and like all these other blockchain coins have done. I think that's so cool, and I think that's the way the world should go. So guys, that is all I had today. Do you have anything else that you want to hit on?
Dude, that's all I have, man. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, dude. So real quick, guys, Chris Opdyke, owner of Sick Whips Detailing and Pure Electronics. Do you have an Instagram for Pure Electronics?
I don't. We have a Facebook page, Pure Electronics.
Okay, so Facebook page, Pure Electronics, Instagram page, Sick Whips Detailing. I'm assuming you have a Facebook page for Sick Whips too.
Yep.
Okay, so Facebook, Instagram, Sick Whips Detailing. You guys know where to find me on Instagram, at Rick's Doing It. Chris's Instagram, personal, what is it?
Chris Opdyke.
Just at Chris _ Opdyke, or
just regular Chris Opdyke.
Okay, so Chris Opdyke, CHRISOPDYKE. Thank you guys all for listening, and I will talk to y'all next week. See ya.